Hey nerds, it's Tiri. It's patch day 7.0. Just came out, the pre-expansion patch for Legion in World of Warcraft, and I'm super excited. So I logged on today to set up my disc spec, and I wanted to share it with you guys. It's pretty much the same as in the beta. I never did make a, hey, new disc priest video. I just kind of was playing it, and while I was playing, I would explain my rotation and stuff now and then. So let's go over the first thing you see regarding your talents. First, we'll go over the abilities really quick. We have the Penitent, which, it makes it so that you can hit friendly targets with penance, which a lot of people are used to. So maybe while you're transitioning and getting used to the old disc, you could use this and you could heal with penance. You might not feel so incredibly useless because it's a very, very big change as far as the way that Disc Priest is played now. You have Castigation. Penance fires one additional bolt of holy light over its duration. That sounds like a really good ability. However, for now, I'm using Schism. It attacks the enemy's soul with a surge of shadow energy, dealing 30k damage, and increasing damage that you deal to the target by 30% for 6 seconds. So you want that on the mobs when you're attacking them with, as long as you have plea on other people. I'll get into more of the plea and the reason for that in a minute. Angelic Feather, that's all good and fine. It just makes you run fast. It's the same. You put feathers down on the ground. It's awesome to have for certain circumstances. Body and Soul, awesome because it still gives you a speed boost when you use Leap of Faith and Shield on people. Masochism. When you cast Shadow Mend on yourself, its damage over time effect heals you instead. That is amazing because Shadow Mend is one of your main abilities, like burst heal abilities, and it also does ticking damage. We'll get to that later. For now, I have Body and Soul for this tutorial. Shining Force. It's kind of a crowd control thing. It knocks enemies away from people and slows their movement. You focus it on somebody and it does that to all of its enemies around them. Psychic Voice reduces the cooldown of Psychic Scream by 30 seconds. So PvP, except for they have honor talents. So I don't know why World PvP is Psychic Voice. I don't know. Dominant Mind. You may also control your own character while Mind Control is active. It ups the cooldown on it and everything. I figured, you know what? We might find that we need Mind Control when doing dungeons. We might need more CC. So I have Dominate Mind right now. I think I would use Shining Force otherwise. Mostly because it's new. Powered Solace. I'm used to having an ability that I'm using that gives me mana back. That was... Powered Solace is pretty much the same. It gives you mana back as you attack with Powered Solace. But they also have Shield Discipline now. So now, if you're very disciplined on using your shield, every shield that drops gives you 1% of your mana back. It sounds a bit slow, honestly, because every time you use Powered Solace, you get 0.75 back. Actually... now that I'm saying that, there's a 10-second cooldown on Powered Solace. You're getting 0.75 of your maximum mana. The Shield Discipline, when in a raid especially, is going to be way better, actually, for your mana. So I will probably go to that at some point. I actually think I would recommend using Shield Discipline, to be honest. I'm gonna stick it on there. Mindbender. Traditional, it's been this way for a while. It makes your Mindbender give you mana back. Contrition. So, Atonement is a main part of priest healing. And Contrition increases your Atonement duration by 2 seconds. So, you don't have to refresh Atonement as often. I find that very important. Power Infusion. Stop it, hunters. Power Infusion is... something I don't use enough or didn't use enough before they made these changes, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Contrition for now to see if that works better for me. Power Infusion is a really good, oh shit, I need to cast fast and I need to heal better for this short period of time. So good for certain fights when you really have like, oh shit moments. This is kind of an overall like buff on your atonement. Just a fate. After healing a target below 35% health. I think this is the same as it was before. You deal 20% increased damage and 20% increased healing for 10 seconds. That's really circumstantial, and I don't really want to rely on that. There might be fights that's good for, though. Clarity of Will, it's pretty much the same. It's an extra shield. Absorbs 70k damage. Divine Star is pretty much the same. You throw a star, you hurt people, you heal people, it comes back to you, and it does the same thing. Halo, it's still pretty much the same. A burst of energy, a ring of energy comes out from you and heals people. The further away out to the outer ring you are, the more healing you get, pretty much. Divine Star and Halo, totally circumstantial in specific raids. So I'm going with Clarity of Will while I get ready for leveling and doing dungeons and stuff. Purge the Wicked. This is what I used in beta, and I really liked it. It cleanses the target with fire, causing 8k damage and an additional 40k damage over 20 seconds. Spreads to an additional nearby enemy when you cast Penance on the target. I'm always going to be attacking with Penance, so I like the idea of being able to spread dots constantly. Grace increases your non-atonement healing and absorption by 30% on targets with atonement. So any of the heals that aren't buffed by atonement will be buffed by Grace. So you'll have to look at the abilities that aren't buffed by atonement and how often you use them and see if that's something you want to use. Shadow Covenant draws on the power of Shadow to heal up to 5 injured allies within 30 yards of the target for 40k, but leaves a shell on them that absorbs the next 20k healing they receive within 6 seconds. That's super badass. So it's basically an AoE heal that I otherwise would not have. That leads me into what abilities they have taken out. Let's see if I can remember them all, shall we? They've taken out Heal, Flash Heal. I won't remember them all, but the main ones. Renew. They've removed Mind Blast, which was in the alpha for quite a while, and everyone's like, you have to use Mind Blast, it's Maze Balls, and then they dropped it. I was like, oh. What else did I see? Binding Heal, all those weird heals. Prayer of Healing, Prayer of Mending. Those are great. I mean, those aren't weird. Binding Heal was always really weird to me. They've taken out quite a few talents that I may or may not have used, so I don't remember. But, I mean, that right there, what I've just said, I mean, Flash Heal and Heal, all that, that's a lot of important shit that they've just taken away from you. So, I'm going to close my quest thing. So, as you can see, Disc Priest is completely different. See, this is your core shit. Shadow Mend is like your new Flash Heal, but then it dots the target. For, I think it's like half. We'll get into that in a second when we talk about the new abilities. Talks about your atonement. Shadow Repain, Smite are still your main attack abilities. Then Penance is now your another main attack ability. Used to be mostly used for heals. You have your shield. Shadow Mend, which is like a flash heal, and Atonement. Atonement. Let's go into the spellbook. Okay, your most important passive. Plea, Power Word Shield, Shadow Mend, and Power Word Radiance. Apply Atonement to your target for 17 seconds. When you deal spell damage, you instantly heal all targets affected by Atonement for 50% of the damage done. So 50% of your damage is becoming heals when they have Atonement. Now, your non-affected Atonement heals, remember, like if you have the... What am I doing? Buttons. Oh, here we go. If you have the talent that puts makes Penance a heal, if you have the Penitent, then you would probably want to use Grace, because that's going to make your Penance heal for 30% more, as long as those targets have Atonement. So then you don't really have to worry about Yeah, about what heals are affected by atonement at that point. So, focus will. The same. Melee attacks against you cause you to gain focus will, reducing damage you take by 15% for 8 seconds, stacking up to 2 times. Cool. Your mastery is absolution. Increases the healing transferred through atonement by 27%. So, atonement is like one of the most important things to know about when you're playing Disc Priest, or to use, to apply. You want it on your party members at all times, as much as you can have it on there. So that makes the mastery super necessary. I feel like mastery is like most important after intellect. I'm just going to assume that and decide that for myself. Okay, so my rotation. I guess we're on to rotation, kind of, huh? New abilities that we're using that we didn't use before. Let's do that first. Look at this spellbook, dude. So you still have Dispel Magic and Purify. Where did it go? It's there. Those are like 2 of the normal things. You have Fade, cool. Leap of Faith, good. I would have been pissed if they took it away. Probably would have switched from Priest. Levitate, Mass Dispel, all normal. Mass Resurrection, Mind Control, yay. Mind Vision, Pain Suppression. So you still have your oh shit, please don't die button. Penance, again, just to heal unless you have that talent. Or I mean, just an attack unless you have that penitent talent. Plea. Plea is the new flash heal, except it doesn't do nearly the amount of healing. When you have, look, okay, quick, efficient plea to heal an ally for let's say 18k. Mana cost increased by 100% for each atonement you have active. So that means if I have, 3 pleas out, we're talking about like 17, 16, whatever, K mana. That's still not, I mean, you don't want to be spamming it, basically. You still have your Shadow Word Barrier. Power Word Radiance is new. It's a burst. It's an AoE heal. You target one person with it, and it goes to the 2 nearest allies. Heals for 20k, and applies Atonement. So you gotta remember that. We already went over that, though. It's weird, because the other abilities don't say that. You just have to remember. So the Shield, Power Word Radiance, Plea, and Shadow Mend. You have your Power Word Shield, Checking Scream, Purge the Wicked, which is a talent, so. Purify Rapture, which makes your Power Word Shield cooldown list. That's pretty awesome. For 8 seconds, too. It's not even just your next one. Resurrection, yay. Schism, that's a talent. Skip that. Shackle Undead, Shadow Mend, Shadow Fiend, and Smite. So a lot of those we've had. There's only a couple that are actually new. Shadow Mend did not used to be in Disc. And Powered Radiance are the 2 main new abilities that aren't talents. So my rotation currently, and this is pretty much just made up by me because I played it in the beta and it seemed to work. Pretty much just want to apply, and this is going to be weird because I don't have my, I set up my click and it's not working. It's not up to date or something. Like, it let me set all of my buttons, and yeah. You can see, if you want, what I bound my click buttons to by looking at my second bar here. 1 through 5 basically here. And then I have Leap of Faith as 6. So, Shadow Man, because it's my flash heal basically now. I mean, I say it's my flash heal because it heals for more than Plea. I guess Plea is like flash heal, and Shadow Mend is kind of like heal. Let's do that. They've kind of replaced them with those, but they're different, obviously. Power Word Radiance, I like to use a lot because it goes on 3 people and applies Atonement. So you can do Shadow Word Radiance on a few people, and then hit the tank with a shield. Basically, your specifically your Power Word Shield to apply Atonement. You've got pretty much the whole group applied with Atonement now, and now you can just start DPSing. So, Clarity of Will is that extra shield, and Pain Suppression is nice too. So let's say I just shielded the tank, then I would Power Word Radiance myself and my friends. Oh look, we all have Atonement now. Cool. So then I do Schism, Purge the Wicked, and Penance. Normally I'm getting like 4k. Then I would just smite a bunch. Reapply atonement. And you want to make sure that you have Purge the Wicked up when you penance if you're doing multiple targets. So then, oh my god, my health dipped a bunch. Oh, I'm gonna Shadow Mend myself. Oh, watch, it's probably gonna... It healed me a bunch, so it's gonna dump me. Anyway. And you can always use Plea, like I said, to quickly get atonement out. I'm big on, like, just going in with Shadow Word Radiance right off the bat and, like, shielding myself or something. And then... Schism, Purge the Wicked, Penance, Smite, Schism's gone, reapply Schism. Penance. I mean, it's super easy, dude. Schism. I just reapplied Purge the Wicked too fast. Pretty much anything that's off cooldown. Again, you want to make sure to put atonement on yourself. I stopped putting atonement on myself, so. But look, watch what. Okay, so his buffs, his debuffs are gone. Purge the Wicked and everything. Watch when I penance him. I'm healing myself for, that was actually a lot more than it usually does. So like 3 and 4k. The first one was like 8k. So that was kind of a fluke. 4. Woohoo! Awesome. So then, so Schism, it's an attack, increases damage that you deal to the target by 30% for 6 seconds. So without Schism, you're gypping yourself out of 15% of the healing that you could have, because 50% of 30 is 15, and you get 50% more damage with where was it? Yeah, with your atonement. You deal spell damage, you instantly heal targets affected by atonement for 50% of the damage done. So many numbers. Basically, it comes down to that. Always having Schism up. Then make sure you have either Plead, Power Word Radianced, Power Word Shielded, or Shadow Mended. As many people in the group as you can possibly do before the mobs are dead. As we know, mobs are gonna die so fast, you're not gonna be able to do this rotation until you get to bosses. But, yeah, that kind of sucks. And, God, I can't even express how much I love Power Word Radiance. It's so good. I love it. I love it. Love it. It's very strange to not have much of an oh shit heal. It's very odd. Shadow Mend heals for 60k. And it's like, oh, look at that. The ally will take 3k damage. I didn't go over Shadow Mend. So it heals for 60k. Then they take 3k damage every 1 second until they have taken 30k total damage from all sources or leave combat. So it's a heal, and then it pretty much dots you. So it's like, oh shit, don't die. And then you have to kind of play catch up. But you do that with damage. Discipline is now a true DPS to heal spec. It didn't used to be. I mean, it used to be, and then it kind of stopped being, so. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I feel like it's probably going to be a super long video. Whoops. But I had fun with it. I'm excited to run around and start being awesome, because Disc is awesome. Hope you guys are having fun. And please do drop me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys on the next video. Alright, I love you all. Bye!